there's been so much research and competing philosophies around whether or not alcohol is good or deleterious to the human body. And much like any health topic, if we want to dig deep enough, I think we can find studies, research, analyses that support or deny any position, right? There's just so much clinical research out there. I've been sort of under the guise, before we talk about this article, of moderate alcohol consumption, that being red wine in particular, was actually beneficial for the human body. We can look at a body of research that talks about the polyphenols, talks about resveratrol, things being very good for our long-term cardiovascular health, the antioxidants that come from the grapes in the winemaking, and all of these myriad benefits that have been pointed to for many, many years now, which is interesting because this was just a few weeks ago. The U.S. Surgeon General, Vivek Murthy's new report, this report came out in early January, cites new studies that link alcoholic beverages to at least 7 malignancies, including breast cancer. But to add any warning labels to alcoholic products, the U.S. Congress would have to act. I don't necessarily want to talk about the ramifications of putting warning labels on products, although we might spin that into. What I really wanted to talk about was the incredible report. I actually found the full report on alcohol and cancer risk, the U.S. Surgeon General's advisory. It's a long report, so I have, truth be told, not digested all of this because it is lengthy and very detailed. So props to Vivek Murthy for doing an incredible body of work here. But I will point out some highlights and we can discuss, Alexandra, because I'm sure that our audience and our staff at Switch for Good is sort of divided on alcohol use. We can dig into that as some anecdotes as we go along. But this new advisory that just came out a couple weeks ago highlights alcohol as a leading preventable cause of cancer in the U.S., contributing to nearly 100,000 cancer cases and about 20,000 cancer deaths each year. Fascinating. Did not know the scale of this. Apparently, alcohol use is very common. In 2019 to 2020, 72% of U.S. adults reported they consume 1 or 2 more alcoholic drinks per week. And the direct link between alcohol use and cancer was first established in the late 1980s. And the evidence for this link has strengthened over time. And the body of the scientific evidence that this report points to demonstrates a causal relationship between alcohol use and the increased risk for at least 7 different types of cancer, including breast cancer, colorectal cancer, esophageal cancer, liver, mouth cancer, throat cancer, and cancer of the larynx, the voice box. And the more alcohol that's consumed, the greater the risk of these cancers. It's fascinating. I've never heard anything about this before.
Yeah, and he says as little as 1 drink a day could rise this, or fewer than 1 drink a day. So I don't know if that means a few sips.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see. I don't know. This is freaking me out a little bit. I'll be honest with you, because it freaks me out in the sense, not because I'm a big drinker. I drink very, very little alcohol for other health reasons that maybe we'll get into in a different episode. But I might have 1 glass of alcohol a year is what I do. But when we dig into this, it's like, okay, alcohol consumption is now being positioned, Alexandra, as the 3rd leading preventable cause of cancer. Number 1 is tobacco. Number 2 is obesity. And that's just wild to me to think about the volume of alcohol that's consumed, not only in the United States, but the world. I mean, it's incredible to think about this. In 2019, an estimated 96,000 cancer cases were related to alcohol consumption, which breaks down to 42,400 in men and 54,330 in women. This relates to nearly 1 million preventable cancer cases over the last 10 years in the United States. Wow. It's mind-blowing.
Well, you know, the World Health Organization says there's no safe limit for alcohol consumption. And there are actually 47 nations now that require warnings on alcoholic beverages, even though most of them don't mention cancer. South Korea warns about liver cancer, which I actually didn't hear in your list, I don't think. But hey, it sounds to me like people are really waking up in the last decade to the fact that we can't drink. Really, if we want to lower our risk of cancer, then we shouldn't drink at all. But did you read anything about why alcohol causes cancer? Because I did a little bit of digging in there, but I'd prefer you to share it if it's in that report or anything.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out here when we go to. There's so many statistics. There's a summary of evidence. It talks about the causal relationship between alcohol consumption and cancer, and this is a summary of the evidence. So it talks about high quality observational studies and meta-analytic reviews have assessed and observed a significant relationship between alcohol consumption and cancer risk. So I'm looking down to see. Apparently here it says extensive research has demonstrated specific biological mechanisms by which alcohol causes cancer. Now we're going to talk about some animal studies here. I apologize for the vegans, but it is what is referenced here. For example, multiple studies have shown that giving rats and mice drinking water with ethanol, which is the same type of pure alcohol in alcohol containing beverages or its primary metabolic breakdown product, acetaldehyde results in increased tumor numbers at multiple places in the body. At high levels, such as those that occur with the consumption alcohol, acetaldehyde is highly toxic and cancer-causing. Further, the data on humans and alcohol and health show a strong association between drinking alcohol and increased cancer risk. So apparently it's talking about the carcinogenic activity at the highest level. So it looks like this ethanol derivative, this thing that they're talking about, I hope I'm pronouncing acetaldehyde is one of the primary culprits.
Yeah, it metabolizes into that, and it binds to the DNA and damages the DNA, and this allows the cell to grow uncontrollably and, of course, start with tumors. It also increases inflammation, which we know is bad, right?
Yeah.
And alters estrogen levels, which I'm not exactly sure how. And it allows carcinogens like tobacco smoke to be more easily absorbed.
Wow.
When you do it. So you drink and you smoke.